City Commission meeting for December 9th will come to order. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Abraham,
Present.
Commissioner Galt, Commissioner Rhodes,
Here.
Commissioner Wilson,
Present.
Mayor Kaler.
Present. Tonight we have Nathan Rogers, Minister of Students at Trace Creek Baptist Church, to do our invocation, and our Pledge of Allegiance tonight will be led by Meg Hancock. Nathan, thank you for being here.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this evening that you have given to us to be able to come together. I thank you for these that are in this room as they represent us in our city. God, I pray that you would bless them, God, the decisions that are made. We thank you for authority. God, we realize that it is a gift from you and that you intend for it to be used not only for your glory but to better our society. And God, I pray that's exactly what would happen today. God, I thank you for what's represented even here tonight, the hard work of so many people. God, even as we see these awards laid out before us as they represent the hard work of some people, God, I pray that you would bless that, God. We realize that you desire that in all that we do and say that we would glorify you and do all things the best of our ability. And God, I pray that that's represented here tonight. Thank you again for the privilege of being here. I pray for wisdom, God, not only for these leaders, but God, the leaders of our city, our state, and our government as a whole. God, I pray that you would bless them as they make decisions that affect all of us. And we pray these things all in your precious and holy name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Manager, are there any additions or deletions?
There are none.
Okay, I'm going to change the presentation portion up just a little bit. So if Bill and Patience Renzulli will come forward, please.
Smile, Bill.
So tonight, it's my pleasure to present a Duke of Paducah to Bill Renzulli and a Duchess of Paducah to Patience, and if I can find my notes here. So Bill Renzulli and his wife Patience took a leap of faith when they moved to Paducah 12 and a half years ago, and they were the first of the artists that moved here with the Artist Relocation Program from far, far away, and they've become valuable members of Paducah, teaching, supporting, cooking great Italian food for friends and neighbors. And Bill and Patience both are prolific writers, whether a blog or a column in the newspaper or a book author. We see Bill's art imprint all over Paducah, and especially in these two books that were done for the symphony for fundraisers. The P is for Paducah book and has Bill's artwork all over the front and the back, and the Paducah Counts, which also has Bill's artwork, and you see his artwork in City Hall and all over. So Bill and Patience, you've been wonderful citizens of Paducah, and you certainly deserve this. So to all to whom these presents shall come, greetings. Know ye that Patience Renzulli is named a Duchess of Paducah. I hereby confer this honor with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. In testimony whereof, I have caused these letters to be made patent in the seal of the city to be hereunto affixed, done at Paducah the 9th day of December in the year of our Lord, 2014. And for Bill, Bill, to all to whom these presents shall come, greetings. Know ye that William F. Renzulli is named a Duke of Paducah. I hereby confer this honor with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. In testimony whereof, I have caused these letters to be made patent, and the seal of the city to be hereunto affixed, done at this 9th day of December in the year of our Lord, 2014. So not only are they my neighbors, but they're my friends as well. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
And if Mr. J. Wayne Armbruster will please come forward. You know, some of the quieter people get a lot done and get a lot done for the community, and we certainly appreciate everything that you've done for Paducah and, with the Civic Beautification. And so to all to whom these presents shall come, know ye that J. Wayne Armbruster is named the Duke of Paducah. I hereby confer this honor with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining, in testimony whereof I have caused these letters to be made patent and the seal of the city to be hereunto affixed, done at Paducah the 9th day of December in the year of our Lord, 2014. We appreciate you and all of your work. Thank you
very much.
So the next thing on our agenda is the Civic Beautification Board Annual Business Awards. Dabney Haw is here tonight, and Carol.
Mayor. Thank you and welcome to everybody. Yes, Carol, please come on up. We have a little unfinished business in Civic Beautification this year, and so we want you to think dogwoods in December. We, this year, as most of you, I believe, know, participated in our 50th annual Dogwood Trail. And we just had a spectacular trail, wonderful participation, and the dogwoods cooperated so beautifully. They were spectacular, and they stayed for the quilters, so we were thrilled. But also for our 50th, in honor of our 50th, one of our board members created a beautiful dogwood pin, which I'm wearing, one of them, and we sold them, and our proceeds will go to the Children's Memorial Garden in Noble Park. So I'd like to call Dorotha Page and Carolyn Ruth up, please. And Carol Vanderboe, our creator of our pins, is going to present our check.
And here's your check.
$6,550. That's a lot of dogwood pins. And Carol Vanderboe created the pins and hand-painted each one of them. So we appreciate her, too. So let's give her a big hand, please. I think Carolyn might like to say something.
Just a couple of words about the Children's Memorial. It was initially in Beautification's response to the Oklahoma bombing, in which 19 children lost their lives. And by the time we decided that there had to be something in remembrance, we felt as though it was for all children who tragically lost their lives. And we planted 19 trees. By the time the ice storm came, we had one tree left. And we could not let that stand alone. So after talking with some people, my garden club, Open Gate, and Beautification got together and talked with Dorothy, who is Garden Clubs for Noble Park. We decided it had to be again. And the outpouring has been absolutely fantastic. And it's not just a planting of dogwoods. It's education. It's a respite area. Every single dogwood is a different variety, so that you as residents can see what really grows here, and we're not limited to just the white dogwood, which is gorgeous, but there's more to it. And Carol, you're wonderful. Thank you. I'm told it started out with, I'll do 5 dogwood pins, and then it was maybe 50 for the 50th, and 600 dogwood pins later, plus, oh my goodness, it keeps growing. You might be able to twist her arm so you could have one of her pins.
Thank y'all so much. Thank you. Carol will take it. You got the real one. A couple of things I want to add before we do the annual business awards. In Wayne receiving his Duke of Paducah, I just want everyone to know that one of the reasons that he was selected is because Wayne grew 42 trees in his yard. He had a little tree farm. And he noticed that Paducah Middle School was rather bare with the new building. And so he coordinated the planting and everything for the trees in Paducah Middle, and we just felt that that was outstanding. You know, to do something for the entire community. He donated all the trees. He organized businesses to help pay for the planting. So it was just a win-win situation, and we're thrilled and can't wait till next spring to hope that they're all alive. But anyway, thank you so much, Wayne. And now we're going to move on. Oh, wait, one more thing, if you don't mind. With the dogwood pens again, we had tried 3 different times unsuccessfully to get the governor's wife, First Lady Jane Beshear, we wanted her to receive one of our dogwood pens. And Carol had made actually 2 for her, a white and a pink, because she's so active in breast cancer awareness that she wanted her to be sure and have a pink one. But anyway, as it turned out, it's December, almost the end of our 50th year. She was coming to town to receive a check from Bristol Broadcast. And Jamie Futrell at Bristol Broadcast was so generous to invite Carol and I to come and present First Lady Beshear with the dogwood pens, and she was thrilled. And not only, it was fascinating because she said she always loved the dogwood trail. That was one of the things she loved about Paducah. And also the fact that our money went to the Children's Memorial Garden in Noble Park, that she remembered Noble Park as a child and was thrilled with that. So it was just a wonderful time, and we thank Jamie at Bristol Broadcasting too. Now, one other thing. I need Mary Hammond to come up, please. She's in charge of our annual business awards. But Mary is not only, she's in charge of a lot of things. But she has also, most of you know her in tourism, but she, I think, is the longest standing Civic Beautification Board member. She has been on the Civic Beautification Board for 30 years. Oh. So we feel like that deserves a round of applause.
I was young and right out of college when I joined Civic Beautification Board. And it was before I joined the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Thank you. Gosh. I moved tonight just because what a perfect example of civic pride and the love we all have in Paducah. Each year, the Paducah Civic Beautification Board makes awards to those businesses that have the passion to revitalize, to build, to beautify, to work on their landscaping. And we think this year that there are 7 businesses and organizations that are super outstanding. And I think it's only right and fair that we start with Paducah Middle School. And Wayne, you probably should come right back up here too and join Stacy Overland, who is the principal of Paducah Middle School. And what a beautiful, overdue middle school that we have. And congratulations.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you to Debbie Long, one of my committee members, and to Paul Grumley for taking the beautiful photos. And they go on the plaques.
That's great.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Our next business is Simply Be Gift Boutique in downtown Paducah. Missy Brown and her husband Ben, who supports her all the way. You might as well come up, Ben. And what a good feeling it was on Dickens, the Dickens celebration, to go in and see the business just so full. I couldn't believe, full to capacity. Thank you, Missy, for what you've done to the building and your beautification.
Thank you very much.
I particularly like what you do with the paper. After going to Fabriano, another UNESCO creative city where paper is the very essence of Fabriano, and to come back and see what you do with the paper in your window is beautiful. Thank you for what you do. Sitting right here in the front, John and Carla Berry, what you've done with the old Hank Brothers building at 212 Broadway, I think we all are taking pride in it. And thank you. Come on up for what you've done. just making our downtown even more beautiful than it is, and keeping the historic character and just making it so much beautiful building.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
More.
Yeah,
More. And Nick McDowell, who got drafted to come tonight for Perkins Motorplex across from Noble Park on Park Avenue. Thank you, Nick, for being a champ and coming here to receive the award. It's a nice look on Park Avenue, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
And would you have expected less from Paducah Bank than to build a beautiful building on the south side? Michelle Luxick and Richie Anglin, come on up. And I love, Paul, that you caught the flags flying. It's such a beautiful photo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Richie. Beautiful. And one last new kid in the neighborhood that we're glad to see and welcome with open arms, Murray State University Paducah Regional Campus. Dan Levitt, come on up. Postcard perfect. Thank you. Thank you for being with Murray State and being part of Paducah.
Thank you very much.
And last but not least, my own board member of the Paducah Civic Beautification Board, Paducah Convention and Visitors Bureau, Jay Page, for Jimmy John's. Your roots run deep in Paducah, and I'm so glad that Dorotha and Jim, your grandparents, are here tonight. Thank you to everybody, and I challenge everyone to make your own building organization, make it more beautiful, and help open our city to those who come and visit and those who live here. Thank you. Thanks.
Well, this is the second year for the Christmas Ornament Contest, and I started this last year. I thought it was important to include as many young people and students in city government as I possibly could. And, of course, having a passion for art, this all worked together very well. So tonight we had 74 total entries for the contest in the city of Paducah. So in the K to third category, and as you come forward, if you would just stand up here with your certificate, I'd like to get a picture of everyone before you leave. So the K through third category, first place is Caitlin Higdon from Concord Elementary. Hi, Caitlin. How are you tonight? Thank you so much. Just stand over there, and we'll have some people joining you soon. And Caitlin also won last year, so she's a pro. And her handmade cube was made from recycled paper with photos from around Paducah. Second place is Mary Claire Kemp from Concord Elementary. And Mary Claire did a pine cone angel. And I want everybody, when you leave tonight, to be sure to stop and look at the tree in the lobby before you leave. Third place, Caroline Kreider from St. Mary's Elementary. And she did photos of Paducah in a plastic globe. Thank you so much. The fourth through eighth grade category, these are all from St. Mary. First place, Renee Chu, and it's a quilt ornament using an egg carton. We asked that they use as many recycled items as they possibly could. Renee, thank you. Second place is Ryan Chu. This is a brother and sister team here, very talented family. And he did a traffic signal using an egg carton. Thank you, Ryan. Third place is Ryan Gillituk, and he did a recycled plastic case with a Christmas tree made of bottle lids. I'm not sure if they're here. Okay. And honorable mention was his sister Erin, who did a recycled plastic case with Santa made of fabric scraps. 9th through 12th category, all from Paducah Tillman. And I would like to especially thank Ruth Baggett, the art teacher at Tillman, for her work with us. First place, Jessica Lopez, Starry Night on the River with Quilts. Get these two out.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Jessica has an interpreter with her tonight, and her name is Edie Ryan. Thank you, Edie. Second place is Nikita Finch in her train theme ornament. Have you seen your ornament on the tree? No. Oh. Have all of y'all seen the tree yet? Third place is Vanessa Davis, and that's a river-themed ornament. All right. So Miss Baggett is going to accept for the ones that are not here. Honorable mention went to Mylan Doan, an antique theme ornament with bottle caps. The best use of recycled materials was Morgan. Just stay here just a minute. The best use of recycled materials went to Morgan Elementary School, Carrie Thompson, art teacher, and they used bottle caps to make Christmas ball ornaments featuring Coca-Cola caps. So they're very creative. The best combination of art history and materials, Paducah Tillman High School, Ruth Baggett, art teacher. Thank you, Ruth. Most Poetic Award, Sharing Their Gifts to the World, and that was Emily Sanders' first grade class at Clark Elementary School, and she did a, like, what would you call it, Ruth? It was different pieces put together in a long string. It's very, very pretty.
Little drawings and
Yes,
encapsulated.
yes. And Christmas Spirit Award goes to Brenda Cantwell's first grade class at Clark Elementary School. So we certainly appreciate all these children and their talents, and I'd like to get a picture with all of them. Would you all like to take a picture with them?
Oh, sure. Heck yeah.
Thank you all. I hope you'll participate again next year. Thanks, Ruth.
One from St. So you don't
Yes,
have to send
sure.
two Gilly texts.
Okay, there's.
And Ryan? Yeah.
I can give them to her.
No, I'll put it in the envelope. Yeah,
Okay.
I think the only two.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We always just add it on there.
Okay, our Christmas storefront display awards, Melinda Winchester, you want to come on up?
Good evening. We had 13 of our stores downtown that participated in this contest. Our sponsor was Paducah Bank, so I'd like to ask Carla Berry to come up. We have 2 awards, checks, actually $250 checks to present to the winners tonight. The first category was Kids Pick, and the kids decided that the Chocolate Factory, Janine CRC, was the winner. I will show you a couple close-ups of her window. They were really creative with it, and it's gorgeous. And if you haven't had a chance to actually go see it, the pictures just don't do these storefronts justice.
Here you go.
Thank you. So you need a good chance to go downtown and take a look at these storefronts. Congratulations, Jeannie. Thank you so much. Our next category was Old Fashioned Holiday Spirit, and our winner was Cassidy's. I've got Marilyn Cassidy here to accept her award. And hers is beautiful. She really went with the old-fashioned Dickens theme, which was our Small Business Saturday event, and you need to go down and take a look at hers, too.
We're going to take a picture.
Nice one, Steve. Thank you, Marilyn. Thank you, Carla and Paducah Bank. We appreciate it. Next up, I'm going to do a really quick presentation of our Dickens of a Christmas. I'll show you all some photographs of our partners that took place in this. It was a great day. It was wonderful. I would like to thank the Parks Department for their help with our setup and takedown and the refuse collection. I'd also like to give a big thank you to Steve Irvin, Director of Planning. He was down there all day, and he did everything. So thank you, Steve, for helping out so much with that. I appreciate it. This is our group picture that we took at the Grand Lodge before the day started, and you'll see a lot of familiar faces in these costumes. We did partner up with the Yeiser Art Center, and Ashley McMillan, she's here. She's going to do a presentation. She was wonderful, and it was really successful for the downtown holiday home tours. Paducah ambassadors, they were everywhere, and this is just a few of the pictures of many of the ambassadors, and they were a wonderful asset to Dickens, and I believe they really had a lot of fun, and Marty says he already has his costume on reserve for next year, so I'm going to hold him to that. Daughters of the Revolution, this is their coffee stand. They were wonderful and busy all day. Paducah Life, they did the story time. McCracken County Library was one of the sponsors there too, and that was at Courtyard East Bookstore, and they were very busy too, and a lot of the children really loved that. On the left, we have Mason and Grant from the Chocolate Factory, and they became known as the Roasted Nut Dream Team. Mason would cook them, and they were wonderful, like cinnamon, brown sugar, pecan. Is that right, Janine? Am I getting that right? They were wonderful. And then Grant's job was to walk around, hand out samples, and shift people to the Chocolate Factory, and she had a line, I think, all day long in there. It was wonderful. On the right are our Girl Scout troops that ran our Christmas wrapping station. It was Troop 17 and 395, and they were busy all day, and they said Hoopers ran them out of shirt boxes really early on. So then this is a picture of our Paducah Main Street volunteer carolers, and I believe Claudia Meeks is in there somewhere, and we have a couple of artists and little bitty tiny 3-year-old carolers. It was wonderful, wonderful. Paducah Tillman, the Concordia, was there. These girls are amazing. They just added so much to it. And this is Prime Rib, wonderful, wonderful group. The Paducah Tillman Storytellers, they were fabulous. And then here's another set. And this is Beg. She's the one who did our pledge tonight, and she's in the green dress right there. So. Just a couple comments. I had a lot of comments, but I just threw a couple in from the businesses about Small Business Saturday and how it really affected them, because really that's what this was all about, and making the sales successful for our small businesses on this day. Shane Lee called me and said that he was working the Murray store, and he said he about fell over when the girl called and told him his sales told her for the day, and it was 5 times the normal. And he said no one ever outsells him, so he's got some competition there. I want to go back real quick. The bottom picture, that's our sidewalk right outside Simply Bees. And I mean, that sidewalk, it was just like that all day. It was wonderful, all the traffic downtown. The top one's one of my favorites. This is from Susan Edwards from the Wild Hair Rock Shop. She's like, holy moly mama, it was crazy, crazy business Saturday. Haven't seen downtown like that in, well, I can't remember when. And then Jorge Martinez from Tribeca's, he said it was no small business day. Only thing he could compare it to was his busiest day at the Quilt Week. So that says a lot. The bottom picture is actually a photograph of the corner of 2nd and Broadway, right outside McMurray and Livingston, where the art a la carte set up. And it was like that all day. It was amazing, just amazing. This is my favorite picture right here, the little girl's face while she's looking at Santa. It's just precious. And Mom is actually in the background trying to take a picture of her with Santa. So when I posted this on Facebook, somebody knew who this little girl was, and Mom actually got tagged in it and was able to get this photograph. So I just love that joy. There were just people gathering everywhere. This is outside the gazebo. Of course, we had the rides, and people, I heard, were waiting in line for 2 hours to take these rides, but really there were no complaints. Everyone was just having such a great day. Our s'mores and fire pit were a huge hit. It was amazing, the response with that. I would love to know what that conversation was. Lots of people laughing and having fun down there on the street corner. And this is the last picture, but it really was just Christmas spirit everywhere that day. I think it was really successful. We're already planning for next year, and I have people really excited about it. And that's my presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, Melinda.
Melinda, I've heard so many positive things about the Dickens Saturdays, so that means that you have to do it every year from now on. Thank you, Steve. Okay, we're down to the Yizer Arts Center Downtown Holiday Tour of Homes with Ashley McMillan. Another successful event.
This is my first commissioners meeting, and so I didn't know what to expect, and so I am completely lo-fi. So instead of PowerPoint, I have poster point. And this is the winning poster from the poster design contest for this year. And this is by Tutu, a local artist. Just to give you a little background on the Yizer Arts Center Holiday Tour of Homes, Josh White, who was the former executive director of Yizer, was actually raised in Savannah, Georgia. And so when he was thinking of a new fundraiser concept for Yizer, he thought, there's a lot of interesting, unique properties downtown, and there's a lot of culture and a lot of excitement and interesting lifestyles downtown that people in Paducah have no idea about. Maybe, we should capitalize on that. And so I had just joined the board 4 months prior, and he came to me and he goes, okay, we have 3 months. You're a realtor. You've been a realtor for 10 years. Why don't you run and chair this brand new home tour I'm creating? So I'm like, okay. But since he had such a good relationship with so many homeowners downtown, he actually had about 4 of the homes already selected. So it was pretty easy. And then I just relied on the Paducah Board of Realtors to help generate a list of volunteers for the homes. And they were just on board. They thought it was just a fantastic idea for Paducah. And so that created last year's tour. And so last year's, or actually 2013's tour, we sold 300 tickets and raised $5,000 for Yizer with 3 months of planning. So we knew that we had a good fundraiser for Yizer. So that made the stakes this year, that much more challenging to, first I had to find brand new listings, that was going to be difficult. And then also to, get the people who came the last year to come again and then get new people to come. So some of it was coincidental that really helped this tour just be fantastic, and then others was just, good planning and networking with downtown. But the three main things that we did was institute the poster design contest, so that way we can involve local schools, because, one of the big things that we want to do with Yizer is to get children involved in learning and thinking and creating art and using their imagination. And so we thought with the poster design contest that we would contact the local, elementary, middle, and high schools to see if they could help create a design that would brand that holiday home tour, and then they would also be able to advertise their artwork throughout the city. Well, unfortunately, I didn't get any designs from the schools. I don't know why that didn't happen, but I got a fantastic design by Tutu. So needless to say, I don't think I'll have trouble next year. I think now, this home tour is an annual thing. I think we'll have more children submit. Maybe people who submit to the ornament design contest would like to join the poster design contest. I think the word's out now. So number one. Number two was the guiding walk-in tours, and that was kind of a personal idea since I chaired 2013 now through 2015. When you're in an art museum and you just really want to spend time with the artwork, I like it when you can have the Walkmans and kind of really spend time in and looking at the art. Well, I felt, people might want to do this with the homes. People who are more interested in learning about historic properties or architectural details of the homes might want a guided walking tour and go more slowly through the properties than just, going with the friends and just hanging out and, seeing cool Christmas trees. So I had Carly Frampton and Matt Yeager actually research the properties at McCracken County Library, and so they wrote my bios. And then through Melinda Winchester, Melinda found out that I was doing the guided walking tours and thought, well, maybe the Paducah ambassadors would like to be the ones who host the tours, because I was just thinking about local amateur historians. So the Paducah ambassadors, when Melinda contacted them, they were like, oh yes, of course we would love to be involved with this home tour. And so they took it and ran with it, and they're already on board for next year too, leading those tours. And so we sold 50 of those tickets. So that was a slam dunk. And then number three was just through a coincidental meeting that I was talking to Melinda downtown. We decided that she had Small Business Saturday and the parade scheduled for one weekend, and that I had the home tour the weekend before. And we were like, well, maybe it'd make more sense, because the parade, that really keeps the parents away from stores. Maybe we should do something that might actually drive the parents into the stores with the kids. So we decided to move Small Business Saturday to the day of the holiday home tour. And as the results speaks for themselves. I had 781 people come through Yizer on that Saturday. That's amazing. Now, one thing that I did learn through this year's home tour was I sold just as many tickets as I did last year, but this year my tickets were mostly pre-sales. So the day of the tour, there's just so much activity down there, I didn't get as many new sales as I wanted. So this year, I have a few little quirky ideas in the works to help drive those sales, but then also signage to help people become more aware of the home tour. And anyways, so that meeting with Melinda to change the date, and then also to create the caroling route that followed the tour route. And you saw the wonderful PowerPoint presentation that displayed all the different activity that we had planned throughout the day. I mean, it was just really great, and I think people are already geared for next year. So next year, what am I going to do different to make 2015's home tour even better? Well, I hope I have 10 new properties again. It's just amazing the energy being put into restoring older properties downtown, and that there are that many properties available. I think we're all just kind of shocked by the number of properties, and I'm already generating my list, and I already have a good 8 properties. But the one thing that I think people wanted this year, maybe some more decorations in the homes, some more just up the ante on that. So what I'm doing is I'm going to start a designer tree contest, and I'm asking all the interior decorators to donate their time to to decorate one tree per unit, but I'm having them sponsored by local businesses. So it'll get advertising to the businesses, then it'll pay the decorators to do them, because that's why I've had trouble getting them secured before. And then we're going to have monetary votes, just $1 votes in each home to decide who wins the designer tree contest. And so that will raise money for Geyser, help interior decorators and the local businesses. We've already had our first meeting for the tour for Geyser, so we're already in planning. And then the other big difference is we're going to walk the route with the ambassadors and the hosts a few weeks before the tour to make sure that they're able to direct people, and also so their bios are memorized on the homes, and so they're very familiar with the routes. There's no confusion there. And anyways, I'm going to have several committees for 2015's home tour, so if anyone's interested, you can call my cell, and you can get that on my Facebook page, Ashley McMillan. And that's it, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ashley. So, Molly, would you come up with the Christmas Parade Awards, please? Hi, Mark.
Hi there. How are you all? Mayor, Commissioners, thank you all for the allowing us to come and make the awards for the Christmas parade that was held on Saturday. It was a great parade. We had over 90 participants, and thank you all for your all's participation also. We had a grand time, and we had this year we had Amy Clark, as you all know, has been off from the department on maternity leave. She had a new son, and in her stead we had two first-year people with our department take over a lot of the work and the heavy lifting, and that's Molly Tomasello and what's your name? Mallory Gentry take over some new roles and take care of a lot of business, and did real well with it, including the initiation of the first annual Ugly Sweater Run, and so that's going to get bigger and bigger each year. So thank you all very much, and so without further ado, we'll go ahead and give out some awards. In our theme float division, 5th place goes to Boy Scout Troop number 19, and they had SpongeBob Christmas. Okay. 4th place went to Cub Scout Pack 20, Welcome to Whoville. Photo op time. Turn around, fellas, so they can take your picture. Thank you all very much. Next, 3rd place, Paducah area Girl Scouts also had a Whoville float, but they were quite different and they were both unique. Turn and smile, ladies. Well done. Second place, Christmas Vacation, goes to Pizza Inn. Okay. Somebody's serving pepperoni tonight. And first place goes to Cub Scout Pack 2018, A Christmas Story. All right. Now our religious float division, third place, 9th Street Tabernacle Ministry.
I guess that's where you go.
No, I was just there one night.
Well done. And I'm sorry if I don't shake your hand. I've got fighting a little sinus stuff. So don't want to spread it. Second place in the religious float division, the Reedland United Methodist Church. Okay. Reedland couldn't make it tonight. And first place, Trinity United Methodist Church. Reedland. Okay. There we go. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you all very much. Non-float division, second place, Jason's Collision Center and Towing. And first place, Froggy 103.7. Congratulations. And our school float division, third place, Paducah Public Schools Transportation. Go ahead and pick that one up for them. And second place, Paducah Tillman Choral Department. Go ahead and pick it up while you're there. Got something to carry to school tomorrow. And first place, Murray State, Paducah, KEASP. Congratulations.
Go Racers.
Thank you very much. And drill team division, second place, Silver Lining Homeschool Color Guard. And first place, Center Stage Dance Company. Center Stage. Okay. And finally, the band division, second place, McCracken County High School Band. And first place, the Band of Blue, Paducah Tillman High School. Yeah, come on up.
He's the band leader.
Yeah.
He used to be a cart leader.
There you go. Absolutely.
You need to be in that one, too.
We need.
He needs to be in there, too.
Yeah, go ahead and take that one.
Yeah, I'd called him. We really talked very little about that. We talked about tons of others.
I think they're going to survive. Mike's not going to let them do anything, but there we go.
Oh.
No.
I'm not going to, I'll just sit in the Would you be willing to meet with
Thank you again, and we'll look forward to doing it again next year.
It's always fun.
Thank you.
So Dad called him again. Dad said, "What are you doing now?" I said, "Nothing. Come on."
Next, we have Richard Roof, and he's here to do the Barkley Regional Airport audit report.
Look what you do. Just do one of these.
Yeah. Somebody come get me.
All right.
the seat.
Mayor, Commissioners, Mr. Peterson, I welcome the opportunity to give you an update on the activities at the airport. Probably the most important thing tonight is I furnished each of you with a copy of our fiscal year 2014 audit. Our fiscal year runs the same as most special local government entities in Kentucky, which is July 1st through June 30th. I'm pleased to report that is an unqualified audit. There was no problems anywhere with the financial data. The auditing firm did note our usual problem. It would be nice if we had more people for segregation of duties. I was asked about that last night at fiscal court. My response is, sure, $100,000 will take care of that. In the meantime, we do the best we can. In terms of airline activity, I think you'd be interested in knowing November was a very good Thanksgiving holiday period. We were up 7.3% on enplanements compared to the previous November. And flight completion rate was 98.3%. And the issue with the one or two canceled flights were really adverse surface winds at Chicago O'Hare. We're year-to-date up 2%. So far, it's been a tough year for reasons I'll get into shortly. A fascinating one Commissioner Wilson might be interested in is the number 8%. And that's the number of passengers that we carry that are on international tickets. So it comes to numerous thousands in the course of a year. And they come from a variety of rather interesting places. And data that I got just yesterday, we found that the number one destination, for whatever reason, is Calgary.
Calgary?
We're not really sure. Do I sense oil fields somewhere? Number two is Vancouver. And this is a total break from last year. Number one last year was London Heathrow Airport. And number two was Frankfurt, Germany. So we've had quite a shift here in the course of a year, and I can't give a good explanation for it. But what this does indicate, most of these destinations going to and coming from can be done with just one connection at Chicago O'Hare. So when we talk about economic development, the access from the world to this community and from this community to the world is critical. And it makes for rather interesting numbers. By the way, you might also be interested in knowing, for whatever reason, number 20 on the list is Bangalore, India. We have no idea. If we look at domestic, number one obviously is Chicago. And that's developed into probably the largest local market that we have ever had, where it's just to Chicago and back. And what makes it even more fascinating, by a not too bad margin, the number of passengers enplaning at Chicago coming to Paducah and then going back to Chicago is larger than the number of people originating at Paducah going to Chicago and returning. That's another interesting tidbit the Chamber may enjoy working with a little bit. We don't know what the activity in that direction totally indicates, but it is kind of interesting. As I'd mentioned earlier, we'd had kind of a tough year this year. Some discussion about the reliability of flights, which may have been somewhat premature, but we had weather factors, I'm sure, as you all are aware of being in city government, January through the middle of March, a lot of ice, not only here but in Chicago as well. Then we had thunderstorms activity in April and May, and then that was impacted by your friendly Uncle Sam local government regulations, which increased the amount of experience and licensing required to pilot commercial aircraft, combined with another set of regulations which reduced the available duty time. This resulted, obviously, in the fact that you had crews that were more difficult to hire because there were fewer prospects that had these certificates, coupled with a reduced duty time requirement. So I think SkyWest gave us a number that this regulation change alone resulted in a 10 to 15% shortage in flight crews. SkyWest, being the largest regional carrier in the country, has managed to work their way out of it, and as I mentioned before, reliability in November was 98.3%, and I can't complain. The last thing that really affected the year, for about 13 days, was a firebug in the Chicago Center in Aurora, Illinois, that shut things down up there for a considerable period of time. So it's been kind of tough. The contract SkyWest has with the Department of Transportation for Essential Air Service at Paducah is a 2-year contract expiring December 31st next year. We anticipate probably around late August to the first part of September, we'll see the department put out requests for proposals. We do expect SkyWest to rebid. Last time around, they were the sole bidder, so we indicate, I think, that there's a lot of interest in their part to continuing service here. And finally, as a wrap-up, where we're spending our project money from FAA grants and then from the city and county support, for which we're extraordinarily grateful, we have acquired new and enhanced aircraft rescue and firefighting silver suits to wear in hot environment, plus the self-contained breathing apparatus that goes with those suits. Of great deal of interest to you is the fact that we are in the process of upgrading our 800 megahertz radio system, and this will be P25 compliant. We may be the first entity in the county to go P25 compliant, so we're looking forward to that project getting done probably in about a month. We're also looking at the design for LED taxiway lights and a design for a fire station upgrade. So it's going to be a fairly busy year coming up, but the indications are it's going to be a good one. And again, on behalf of the airport board, we thank you for the support, and if you have any questions, by all means ask.
I always enjoy your presentations. You always make them a lot of fun, Richard.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jay, for serving on the board. Thank you, Carolyn. Okay, we're going into our meeting now. Commissioner Abraham, with the minutes, please.
I move that the reading of the minutes for November 25th, 2014 City Commission meeting be waived, and that minutes of said meetings prepared by the city clerk be approved as written.
Second.
Everybody looked at the minutes? City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Kaler?
Aye. Go on to our motions. Commissioner Rhodes, please.
I move that the following documents be received and filed. Certificate of liability insurance for Comcast of Paducah Incorporated. Notice of cancellation for Board of Commissioners meeting scheduled December 2nd, 2014. Commissioner's deed for 1906 Clay Street. Contracts, agreements, grant agreement amend with Department for Local Government for the Jackson House CDBG project. Contract with Kinsey's Lawn and Landscape for grounds maintenance for 2015. Agreement with Linwood Motors to purchase vehicles for use by the Police Department and Fire Prevention Division. And finally, Paducah Water Works financial highlights for October 2014.
Second.
City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Kaler?
Aye. Whereas subject to the approval of the Board of Commissioners, I hereby reappoint Robert Wade as a member of the Board of Civil Service Commission. This term shall expire December 9th, 2017.
I move that the Board of Commissioners approve the recommendation of Mayor Kaler in reappointing Robert Wade as a member of the Board of Civil Service Commission.
Second.
City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Excuse me, Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Kaler?
Aye. Municipal orders. Commissioner Abraham, please.
Upon the recommendation of the city manager, the Board of Commissioners of the City of Paducah order that the personnel changes on the attached list be approved.
Second.
Hi, Steve.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. A very busy list, but I would point significantly to the second thing on the list. After Assistant Chief McKellips was appointed and promoted to the deputy chief position. It opened up an assistant chief, and after a very rigorous round of internal candidates, Mr. Reeves has been selected. There's a slight error on that. That is, it's listed on your form as non-exempt. It is exempt from overtime. So, clerk, if we could make that a small change, and if there are any questions.
I think Gabe is a good choice.
They had two very strong candidates for the position. It was very close. The chief and his team labored over the decision, and I think it's a very good decision. It's gratifying to see where it's hard to make a choice because you have
It is.
so many qualified people in the department.
It's a lot of new hires in the fire department as well.
Those aren't new hires. Those are a
They've-
lot of those are getting their tiny little step increase, and some of the ones that were previous appointee firefighters, they move up to their full firefighter position.
And are you pretty much at full staffing?
We are.
Yeah.
And just one point about those 5 guys, they are moving to what we call to the floor this week, and their graduation ceremony is the 17th. As a reminder for you guys, where we'll officially recognize them. But they finished recruit school this week, and they're going on to the trucks this week as well.
Great.
Okay.
What time is that on the 17th? Again, what time?
It's at 6 o'clock.
Next Wednesday?
At the convention center.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a couple of resignations here.
Yes, sir. One was in EPW, unfortunate family circumstances, and then another one in the police department.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Kaler.
Aye. Commissioner Rhodes, please.
Okay, I move that a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order Amending the Policy for Use of Spending Credits Toward the Purchase of Certain Benefits, such as Health, Dental, or Vision pursuant to the City's Group Health Insurance Plan for the 2015 plan year, to change from the maximum wellness credit that employees can earn from $2,000 to $2,250, be adopted."
Second.
A year ago, we made some significant changes in the way our wellness program is administered. Prior to that point, it was a lot of it was passive. If you fell into a certain category like non-smoking, we'd give you $900, and then we had other activities you could do, including book reports. And over a year ago, it gravitated to a biometric plan. And by that, for those of you that participate in our plan and for our employees, how much wellness you get in large part depends on where you fall biometrically, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your BMI, your waist, all those factors that they can work on and change and get more dollars for wellness. Another chunk of it is activity-based. If you show up and do 5Ks and take the wellness classes and do stuff like that, you can earn dollars that way. And we did not have anywhere in our plan where there was a carrot for not using nicotine. There was only a penalty for a small group of employees that got the greatest reward, the gold level employees that got the biggest reward. If they were nicotine users, we would penalize them and knock them back to silver, and it would cost them $750 for that employee. So in this rearrangement, which we are recommending, is we'll add a $250 non-use of nicotine back into the program. So the very minimum, if our employees, and some of this is eligible for spouses too, if they choose to participate in wellness, it doesn't cost them anything. We will give them a free physical, free lab work. They take a health risk assessment and then fill out their nicotine use affidavit. And for doing that, if they don't use nicotine, they'll get $500 to be used towards purchase credits in the plan that they select. And then if they do 4 of the activities, they can earn $125 for doing those activities. So there's really no reason any employee of ours that's participating in our health plan with minimum effort should be able to earn $1,000 this next year. I'm asking for this change now so that we can put this into effect. I know we had we did all this before open enrollment, but I'm requesting this change now so we can still build that in for January 1.
Makes sense to me.
Everybody okay?
Yeah.
Okay. City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Mr. Rhodes?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Kayler?
Aye. Commissioner Wilson, please.
I move that a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order Adopting a Schedule of Fees for the Oak Grove Cemetery and Mausoleum Pursuant to the Solid Waste Ordinance, Chapter 26, Cemeteries of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Paducah, Kentucky," be adopted.
Second.
I was going solid waste. That's not real good to put with cemeteries. Sorry. Excuse me.
What it said. I kind of stumbled over it.
Mayor, Commission, I'd briefed you earlier in the summer regarding some of this. We've made a couple of adjustments since that time, but one thing we did find out in particular that we had been, it's at least before 1994 that we passed anything as far as regards of fees at Oak Grove Cemetery. So with that, well, you have a new list of recommended fees. This also will allow us to open up Rushing 9, which is a section that, because Rushing 6 is the one that we've been using, it is sold out. This will allow us to open up the whole new plot section of Rushing 9, which is the last major area that we have to open up in the park.
Questions?
Certainly. This gets us into the median area from last time. We were at the bottom before, and now we're kind of getting into the median area of other areas, Mayfield, Murray, and some of those public facilities.
Because Mount Ken charges $750, and Maple Lawn's $1,000 to $2,000, depending on.
Well, that's why I was talking about public facilities. Murray, Mayfield have city cemeteries, and that's kind of
It
what
seems
we
like we still might be a shade low if Mount Kenton, which I know it's the First Presbyterian Church, but they will sell a plot to anybody.
Well, I understand that, but we're also that kind of place of last resort for a lot of folks that need that.
Do we have a funeral home of last resort who cuts their price? I'm just asking. I'm not
That's
trying
where
to
it is.
But the point is that are we trying to make the cemetery self-sustaining? Can we?
The cemeteries will never be self-sustaining. It's a fact.
But we do have 700 plots in this area.
Right.
So when you start in multiples,
all right, maybe we shouldn't go 20 years.
We have
rating.
Yeah,
is that okay?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, we say that. All right, good deal.
It has been 20 years, but we did raise significantly the mausoleum, which will allow us to open and sell those 133. With what John has worked on also, we'll be able to purchase the equipment to go along with that too, to help maintain it and make it look better.
We shouldn't underprice our stuff.
Understand.
There may be a couple of funeral homes out there with a benevolent spirit.
I'm pretty sure there are.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm just saying we shouldn't
probably
underprice our
is.
stuff.
Just saying.
I mean,
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Did I get a second on that?
Yes, both of us.
Yeah, both. Give it to him. Give it to Richard.
Give it to Alan.
All right, I'll take it.
City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Mr. Rhodes?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Kayler?
Aye. Commissioner Abraham, please.
I move that a municipal order entitled "A Municipal Order Approving an Application and All Documents Necessary for the City of Paducah Planning Department to Partnership with the Columbia Club Incorporated and the Paducah Film Society and the Paducah Film Society to apply for a 2015 Our Town Matching Grant Fund by the National Endowment for the Arts for $147,000 for the Columbia Theater project be adopted."
Second.
How
Alrighty.
are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you doing? Landy Bryant Green was supposed to be here tonight to answer any questions you might have. She's not feeling well, so she asked me to let you guys know she's sorry she couldn't make it, and I'm going to try to answer your questions as best I can. The Columbia Club has applied, or the Paducah Film Society has applied for this grant for the last 2 years. This will be the third year. The last 2 years, they were looking for funding for not just the feasibility study, but also architectural schematics, preliminary architectural schematics. And NEA really would prefer that those applications be for architectural design plans and specifications. So this year, we're finally to that point. We can ask for those plans and get over that hump of asking for feasibility money. They really don't like that type of project. So estimated cost is $294,000. NEA requires a 1-to-1 match, so the Columbia Club will be supporting a $147,000 cash match for the project, and will be applying for the other $147,000 through NEA. Any questions?
No, I hope we get it.
I hope we do too.
Do you think that increases our chances by them changing?
Well, when I said on the conference call, they told us what our weaknesses were on the previous year's applications, as well as our strengths. The weakness was we don't want to fund a feasibility study. We want something a bit more tangible than that. So they said, well, if you can get yourselves to a point where you can ask for architectural plans, we would prefer that. So we're there, and the timing's perfect.
So I mean, that's something I think is what 2 years ago I think we applied through this or whatever.
2 years
and
and
so
2 years ago, and this.
The progress that's been made so far increased our eligibility, and that's just
Absolutely.
credit to the process. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
City Clerk.
Mr. Abraham?
Aye.
Mr. Rhodes? Aye. Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Kaler?
Aye. Commissioner Rhodes, please.
I move that an ordinance entitled, "A Municipal Ordinance Authorizing the Mayor to Execute a Grant Application and All Documents Necessary through the Foundation for a Healthy Kentucky for an initiative program called Investing in Kentucky's Future for the funding to aid in the development of an outdoor health park located in the Fountain Avenue neighborhood," be adopted.
Second.
Hi, Steve.
Good evening. If you remember, several months ago, we received a $150,000 land and water grant. The grant that you had before you is really a partnership with Parks Department, Western Baptist Hospital. Mike Musgrell is here. The United Way and the City of Paducah Planning Department submitting an application for Foundation for Healthy Kentucky. The application's for $400,000, and we'll use the existing $150,000 from the Land and Water Conservation Fund as part of the match, and then there'll be $50,000 additionally privately raised to meet the matching requirements. This really will be, I guess you would call, phases 2 and 3 of the overall schematic for the park. We're doing a little bit of redesign right now with the trail system and some of the outdoor equipment, exercise equipment, and those types of things. But we're really excited about the partnership and Western Baptist coming on board to be a partner in this project, and also United Way. And Mike, you're here, and
Lord's Hospital.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lord's Hospital also. And
the West Kentucky Coalition for Health is a collaborative organization of Baptist Health Paducah, Lourdes Hospital, Purchase District Health Department, and the United Way. We are all working together to work on this grant through the Foundation for a Healthy Kentucky. It's an innovations grant for healthy children and youth. And so this collaborative effort with the city is a home run for us to be able to take a location that is central to 3 fabulous and very diverse neighborhoods. You have Frenchtown, you have Fountain Avenue, and you have Lower Town. And having that right in the middle allows us to provide wonderful recreational activities and exercise activities for our youth to keep them from being obese. Lourdes and Baptist have both cited that obesity is our primary concern in this region to help lower the incidence to create a healthy society here in this region and in our fine city and in our county. So I just wanted to say thank you for allowing us to partner with you and the opportunity to do that and get this grant.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
It's great.
It'd be a great addition to that area.
Want it? Yeah.
Great. Very nice, isn't it?
Thank you.
City Clerk.
Mr. Abraham?
Aye.
Mr. Rhodes?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Kaler?
Aye. Commissioner Wilson, please.
I move that a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order Accepting the Bid of Thomas Humphrey in the amount of $1,000 for the purchase of real property located at 1020 Lincoln Avenue and authorizing the mayor to execute a deed for same" be adopted.
Second.
We received 2 bids. There's a recommendation to award the property to Mr. Humphrey as he submitted the highest bid.
Okay, so we have another piece of vacant property being used.
You know, I guess I'm going to say something for Oscar Gamble, who was the other, Oscar and Jay, who the other bidders. Knowing how Oscar, whether it's a 32 Model 4 or a hot rod, or his what he did with the Schimmel home on Buckner Lane, or even the work he's already done on the building he owns next to this property. I mean, Oscar's got that drive and that, I mean, he does things to a very high standard. I mean, I don't know if y'all know it, but he bought this building and has already painted it, put a roof on it, replaced the doors that were collapsing on the ends of it. I mean, Oscar's driven to do stuff to a very high standard, and he can do what he says he'll do.
Sure.
So I'm just sorry. I just my view.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, Steve. City Clerk?
Mr. Abraham?
Aye.
Mr. Rhodes?
No.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Kayler?
Aye. I mean, of course, we've already voted, but this was fair. I mean, everything was fair about it.
I just think Oscar will do a better job, but that's fine. It's okay.
Just as long as everyone understands we went through the process and it was fair.
That's a point well taken, Mayor. Thank you. Important.
Commissioner Abraham, please.
I move that a municipal order entitled "A Municipal Order Accepting the Bid of Senior Properties, LLC in the amount of $200, $100 each for a purchase of real properties located at 1010 South 5th Street and 1016 South 5th Street, and authorizes the mayor to execute deeds for same be adopted."
Second.
On both these properties, we had the bid opening and opened 2 bids. Very shortly after the bid opening, Mr. Joyner submitted a written request to pull his bid. So therefore, we only have one proposal, and that's by Mr. Senior, which owns Beltline Electric. Mr. Senior also plans on new construction on the lots that will be transferring to them.
Thank you.
Do they join?
Agreement.
Doesn't like they just Mr. Senior must own the lot between the two.
I believe he's also working with Habitat for Humanity in acquiring another property also.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Sounds great.
Thank you.
City Clerk?
Mr. Abraham?
Aye.
Mr. Rhodes?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Kayler?
Aye. Commissioner Rhodes, please.
All right. Coach, you missed that 4th commissioner and get to do a lot more reading. I move that a municipal order entitled "A Municipal Order to Reuse $125,000 in repaid economic development bond funds approved through the Kentucky Cabinet for Economic Development to be used as an economic incentive to Whitehall Industries and to aid in the purchase of one of aluminum extrusion press, which will assist in the location of Whitehall Industries to Paducah," be adopted.
Second.
Okay. Jeff, do you want to speak to this?
This is the second effective drawdown of funds that have come to the city from the Economic Development Cabinet. They're returned block grant funds. Last year, City Commission approved the use of the same amount for effectively the same purpose. We now have an understanding through the state and with the local development corporation that, in fact, Whitehall was earmarked for these funds. So that's going forward. We would anticipate that the second 2 annual installments of $125,000 would be directed to the same project, all of which is associated with the purchase of a piece of equipment, the key piece of equipment for that operation out there, which of course has been in place for a good while now and is in operation. So this is essentially the same project for which this was approved last year and which we would anticipate next year and the year after that as well.
All right.
Okay.
City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Kayler?
Aye. Ordinances adoptions. These have already been previously read, so we'll go through these pretty quickly. Commissioner Wilson, please.
I move that the Board of Commissioners adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute change order number 1 with YEC Inc., I think that's Youngblood Excavating, for the Noble Park Lake Bank Stabilization Project. This ordinance is summarized as follows. The mayor is hereby authorized to execute change order number 1 for an increase in the amount of $11,780.09 with YEC Inc. for necessary changes for the Noble Park Lake Bank Stabilization Project, increasing the total cost to $204,194.09.
Seconded.
City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Kayler?
Aye. Commissioner Abraham, please.
I move that the Board of Commissioners adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a contract between Ezra and City on behalf of the members of the MAP GIS Consortium for a multi-jurisdictional enterprise license agreement. This ordinance is summarized as follows, that the mayor is hereby authorized to execute a contract between Ezra and the city on behalf of the members of the MAP and GIS Consortium for the acquisition and administration of a multi-jurisdictional enterprise license agreement in an amount not to exceed $60,000 per year, total $180,000 for a 3-year agreement. The contract will become effective January 1st, 2015 and end December 1st, 2017.
Second.
City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Kayler?
Aye. Commissioner Rhodes, please.
Okay, I move that the Board of Commissioners adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance authorizing creation of a separate project account, PF 0048, to hold proceeds from the Oak Grove Cemetery Trust for disbursement for the general care, maintenance, and embellishment of Oak Grove Cemetery. This ordinance is summarized as follows. Upon receipt of the proceeds from the termination of the Perpetual Care and Maintenance Trust Fund, the City of Paducah shall deposit such proceeds in a separate project account, PF 0048, to be used only for general care, maintenance, and embellishment of Oak Grove Cemetery.
Second.
City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Kayler?
Aye. Commissioner Wilson, please.
I move that the Board of Commissioners adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance improving an interlocal agreement between the City of Paducah, Kentucky and the City of Murray, Kentucky, and authorizing the mayor to execute said agreement. This ordinance is summarized as follows. This ordinance, the City of Paducah hereby approves an interlocal agreement with the City of Murray to cooperatively administer a coordinated investigations program for the City of Murray and Paducah's police departments, and authorizes the mayor to execute said agreement.
Second.
City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Kayler?
Aye. Commissioner Abraham, please.
I move that the Board of Commissioners adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance accepting the bid of Gall Incorporated for the purchase of uniforms for the police department employees, and authorizes the mayor to execute a contract for same. This ordinance is summarized as follows. That the City of Paducah accepts the bid of Galls, Inc. in amount not to exceed $80,000 per year for furnishing the city with uniforms for police department employees for a period of 2 calendar years ending with December 31st, 2016, and authorizes the mayor to execute a contract for same.
Second.
Thank you. City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Kayler?
Aye. Ordinance is introduction, so we do not vote on this tonight. Commissioner Rhodes, please.
All right. I move that the Board of Commissioners introduce an ordinance entitled An Ordinance of the City of Paducah, Kentucky, approving and authorizing the execution of an interlocal cooperative agreement among the City of Paducah, Kentucky and the Paducah-McCracken County Convention and Visitors Bureau for the cooperative financing of an economic development project in the City of Paducah, Kentucky. This ordinance is summarized as follows. This ordinance authorizes the City of Paducah, Kentucky to approve and enter into an interlocal cooperative agreement between the City of Paducah, Kentucky and the Paducah-McCracken County Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Bureau, pursuant to Sections 65.210 to 65.300, inclusive of Kentucky Revised Statutes, as amended, the Interlocal Act. The ordinance approves the form of the interlocal cooperative agreement presented to the Board of Commissioners of the City, with such changes therein shall not be adverse to the City and may be approved by the Mayor. The interlocal cooperative agreement sets forth the common plan among the City and the Bureau for the purpose of financing a portion of the cost of the acquisition, construction, installation, and equipment of an upscale hotel on City-owned property adjacent to the publicly owned convention center, generally known as the Julian Carroll and Paducah Expo Convention Center.
Second.
Hi, Steve.
Good evening. This is a piece, a small piece of the hotel financing. When the city eventually sells its bonds, $4 million in taxable general obligation bonds, $500,000 of it will be financed by the CVB using the revenues they get off of the project. Their board has already met and approved this agreement. We appreciate their cooperation in making this happen. The balance of the $3.5 million will be financed with sales tax credits that have been issued by the state for the project.
CVB's always been a good partner.
Been an exceptional partner. The other thing that they're doing for this project that they have not done before is they have entered into very serious discussions with the future operators as to the Convention and Visitors Bureau promoting the convention center. Historically in Paducah, because of the executive inn, and it was somewhat predatory with regard to only doing business that benefited that hotel. This model will be considerably different. Therefore, they're now interested in using their forces to promote the convention center, which will help not only the convention center hotel, but the hotel community at large. Very, very significant change in philosophy that is necessary, and we're very grateful that's occurring.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
A city manager's report.
Well, I'll keep it very brief. Next Tuesday night, we will be coming forward with a study session on solid waste management going forward, keying in particularly on curbside recycling and operationally the changes that we think are ahead of us if we should proceed with a plan to adopt that in the community. We'll also give you a update on efforts underway to procure facilities going forward for the solid waste transfer station. As you know, that contract expires next spring. We've been 20 years with Republic and its predecessor, so we need to rebid that, and included in that will also be a requirement for facilities to handle the recycled materials that would be picked up in a curbside recycling program and all the associated items that go with that. So a lot of people have been working hard trying to put this together, and we'll have a presentation next Tuesday that, while it will not be in finite detail, it'll be pretty descriptive, I think, in terms of what the program would look like and how it would impact the citizens and the services available, both at the household level and at the facility levels. We have a request. There's a committee that's been formed to fundraise and eventually place a monument at Noble Park with your permission for an observation of Gulf War Gulf Wars veterans and people that serve there. So there'll be something coming forward to you formally by way of request to participate in that, both financially and with respect to granting a space at Noble Park for another monument. That's all I have. Did I get that wrong, Mark? What did I say, Noble? I'm sorry. Yes.
I was thinking.
Dolly McNutt.
Okay, so it's a Dolly McNutt.
Dolly
The other
McNutt.
memorial.
Thank you. He looked like Mitch Miller out there. I didn't know what was going on.
Which I'm sure it would be beautiful out there, but
Yeah.
it's Dolly McNutt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's one less thing we have to talk about.
Okay.
Okay, it was nice to be at the event on Sunday honoring Arian Torian with renaming the road at Heartland Church for him, and to know that he grew up in this community and went to church there. Very special for his family and friends to be there that afternoon. And I appreciate the work that Rick Murphy did on that, and appreciate Gladman Humbles for bringing that to us at one of our commission meetings, making us aware of that. Of course, the parade was a lot of fun. Sandra, I never did see you.
I was there. I was with Commissioner Abraham.
Her Wilson and who was it?
Wendy Watts and Wilson Watts.
So I hope next year we'll have lots of people for the ugly Christmas sweater fun run. It'll be a great time to do that, and I think that'll build every year. Toys for Tots will be the charity each time. This year it could change. Okay.
So Executive Judge-elect Leeper.
Yeah, he was walking in it.
That was nice to see.
Mm-hmm.
And get a lot of participation from the county in that parade.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, it was a great. But anyway, it was good to see him. He said he was having a great time.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I do. This past week, after the editorial ran in the Paducah Sun regarding the Paducah Power visit to Louisville and meeting with those financial experts that advised them that it wouldn't be in their best interest to proceed with bankruptcy. I must have got approached by 24 people, and they had comments on the role Hilliard Lyons played in the handling of the bonds. And there's a couple of paragraphs in that editorial that reasonable. You can understand why folks may think that Hilliard Lyons wasn't the best person to go to ask if Paducah Power was eligible for bankruptcy, given the fact that a $184 million bond issue was handled by that company. So I'm not sure if bankruptcy is the way to go, but we passed a resolution the night that Prairie State was here, along with the commission chamber being packed, that everything was on the table, and you want to always move in a way that's transparent, given the severity of this issue, without any gray area, leaving folks to wonder, well, if Hilliard Lyons is connected with Paducah Power in such a way that it was reported in this editorial, is that the best person to ask about should we move forward with bankruptcy, knowing that would affect bond rates, and they are, they're connected with that. And then reading the article in the paper today with the trip that's coming up, going to New York to meet with insurance entities that if the bond rates are not where it needs to be, could affect their rate reduction plan that they're moving forward. So I told those folks that I would mention that tonight, and quite frankly, I question whether Hilliard Lyons was the best company to go with when you're asking whether do we qualify for Chapter 9 bankruptcy because of the connection that company has with Paducah Power. And one other thing, whether it's the city manager or board or one of us elected officials, we need to be clear when we talk about Paducah Power, when we use the word we, because a lot of folks think that we means Paducah, that we have some authority over Paducah Power. We really don't. But when we're talking about it, we're doing fine, or we have our per state is up to 92%. Well, whose interest is it that we're looking out for? Because the ratepayers and the taxpayers, they're the same people. So I think a lot of folks are just wanting to know, okay, we're moving forward, but how are we moving forward? Are we getting information that's accurate as we move forward to this rate reduction? Or help me understand exactly why Paducah Power would go to Hilliard Lyons when they have played such a major role in handling the bonds. A matter of fact, that $184 million was the largest that they've ever handled in the history of their company. So, I mean, I think it's reasonable to see where folks will be, what's really going on with that.
Do you think it's time that we ask their interim executive director, I guess that's his title, I'm not sure, manager, to come back and report to us? Would that answer some of your questions? I'm not sure if, I know Jeff serves on the board, but you may not be comfortable answering all of that.
Well, I would say this much. I think that the chairman's letter to the editor addressed the issue of whether or not appropriate resources were looked into on the issue of whether or not Paducah Power is a candidate for bankruptcy. I believe Hilliard Lyons were part of that discussion, but they're not lawyers, so they would have information on the financial market aspect of the whole thing. But with respect to the ability to file bankruptcy, that information I don't believe was represented by Paducah Power as obtained from Hilliard Lyons. That was clarified in the chairman's letter to the editor. I think that appeared, was it today or yesterday?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And a law firm or a lawyer was named. I forget the name right now, but that was addressed, I believe, in that letter. So.
But I think it's fair when Mark and the group gets back from New York to have him come and make a report.
I think that would be a really good idea. He could help answer some of Commissioner Abraham's questions and explain in more detail where they are now.
Sure.
The editorial that was in the paper the other day, which I referred to, if you read that, now I understand what you just said about that. Hilliard Lyons, they're not lawyers.
Right.
But this editorial, person reading that would assume from reading that they told these guys that's not in your best interest.
Yeah, and that's exactly why Paducah Power chose to write a letter addressing that editorial, because Paducah Power did not feel that it was an accurate representation of the issue.
Okay.
It's not a news story. An editorial is just one person's opinion or a board's opinion.
We'll ask him to come, Richard, to our next meeting.
That'd be great.
He's back.
Yeah, and he'd be more than happy to.
And have them come back, not to go in, just to tell us about their rate plan recovery and to answer any of those questions, but not, as we've had some in the past. But I think it'd be good to have Mark Crisson.
Sure.
Well, and I think as far as sequence of activities, this trip to New York is very important because they're essentially taking that rate recovery plan out there and consulting with key players that would played pivotal roles in the success of that rate recovery plan, and a lot of that is the confidence, and I don't want to say the word cooperation because that wouldn't happen were there not confidence on the part of the financial market that Paducah Power had a plan in place that was sound so that we would be attractive to them to continue to invest in, whether it's a refinancing of our bonds at a better rate or the replacement of huge cash reserves with surety insurance that would free up cash for use in rate stabilization or other aspects of the financial strengthening plan that we have in front of us.
One other thing, the Prairie State facility, I think earlier it was operating at 92%.
For the month of November.
Right. And then they had some issues with some of the machinery, so it's down a little bit.
One of the two units went down,
right,
I believe 2 days ago.
Right. And understanding that the product, the coal, it's already been established that it's not really good quality coal. And the fellas from Prairie State talked about that being one of the reasons that the facilities would come online, go offline because of that. So I think it's just it's good to know and understand that the fact that the coal is of poor quality could definitely play a role on the stability of where that what the capacity is for that facility to stay up or for any long period of time. There's going to be some breaks in there because of that, obviously because of the product that it's processing.
Well, as was pointed out by the gentleman from American Municipal Power, who's the interim chairman of the board, Mark Gherkin, the evening he was here, that I believe he referred to at least one major component of the steam plants that was specifically modified to meet the coal that they have on hand there. In addition to that, other items or issues that have come up from time to time, some of them related to the coal. I can't specify those exactly, but the expectation was that those activities would decrease in frequency, and I'd like to be able to we all would, November, and say, well, that's an indicator of every month to come, but none of us are going to do that or say that. But it's significant to note that it was the highest month for operating capacity to date, and that over the past 3 months combined, that the capacity of the plant was the highest for any 3-month period since both units have come online. So those are encouraging notes. We want more time to pass, to say, hey, something was fixed, or we can be much more confident going forward. But those are very strong and very encouraging indicators, and that's a part of the financial recovery too, is the improved operation of that plant. So combined with other things that we're doing, clearly things are looking positive, and the ship appears to be turning in the right direction.
The things that Paducah Power is doing.
Well,
I know it. That's the issue. With you being on the board, you're the Board of Commissioner ears and eyes of what's going on, keeping up abreast of what's going on, so that because we'll get those. I'll speak for myself. We'll get those phone calls or those emails about what's happening with that. So,
and I can appreciate that. It is just a fact, and I neither make excuse, apologize, or I'm gleeful. It is a volatile, complex environment. I mean, it is, and I really applaud the public for their interest. As we say, we all are empathize with the situation they've been in. The ability to lay out a script, that goes out very far, and not only that, but say it's going to happen exactly that way. It's just almost impossible because of the multitude of factors and the way things change and how fast they change, but we've got smart people working on this, and we've also got, I think, a whole lot different outlook on this thing, and a big part of that is whereas before we can't change the thing in the short term that we put a lot of eggs in one basket, but what we can change in the longer term is let's associate with people that have a whole lot of other resources that could be put in the basket, and we can hopefully eventually slice our pie in more slices than what it is right now. So the association with American Public Power, I believe, as your city manager and as a member of that board and as somebody who's been around public power for 30-some years, is a critical change. It is just absolutely a critical change to move from almost a standalone electric production utility to being associated with 140 others like us. The resources that we get into, the economies of scale, the efficiencies, the expertise, all of that. I'm not saying that I can associate any one of those with a big breakthrough tomorrow, but if you just think about it compared to how we went into this originally, it's like, man, this was the way to go then. It's the way to go now. Too bad we didn't go that way then, but we're where we are now.
I mentioned the power broker and how that's for the peaking plant.
Yeah, that same consortium employs a company to market power and to buy power on behalf of all of them, and this consortium owns some generation capability that is available within their membership base as well. And so we have the potential to market some of our excess power. We have the potential to even sell off some of our assets or some portion of our assets, be it the peaking plant or some portion of it, or our ownership portion of Prairie State or some portion of it, to members of American Municipal Power. We're now in a group that it's kind of like a collective in a sense. Everybody takes a look at the resources that are owned collectively, and if somebody has something that somebody else needs and they don't need as much of it, the potential is there to shift it in the other direction, either in a short-term contract or something very long-term. So that's a different paradigm. That's a different outlook. That's a different mentality than what it's been. And I think it's one of the keys, I think, to turning this around.
So if one of the, I know you can't look down the road and predict that everything's going to turn out the way we want. On the other side of that also, and I bring this up because it was mentioned to me by a few folks, that because there's no authoritative regulator on what the Paducah Power can do with their rates, if they need more revenue, they can raise rates. They can do that. That's the way it is. And so, as we go down this road and everybody's fingers crossed that this works out, that's great. But there's the other side of that, and some folks feel that they're in a situation where, you got to have power. You can't live in a house without power. So again, we're rooting for this thing to work out. So
one thing I would like to say, the article mentioned that they would do free or low-cost energy audits. And when I was visiting my daughter in Virginia, one of the Virginia power companies was talking about that very thing, except they were doing them free of charge for all of their customers, and they weren't in the same situation that we're in. They were just doing it as a public service. Mm-hmm. And they, the radio announcer kept asking them, "Why are you all doing this? Because this has to cost you money." And they just felt like it was the right thing to do. So
I was just thinking the same thing.
If Paducah Power could possibly do those at no cost, it would be very beneficial, because the people that do those audits many times will get a job from it. Maybe there's something the customer needs to do. They might be able to provide that service for the customer. So, there's many ways you can save power, but I think it should be provided at no cost, if possible.
I think it continues to be an issue for our community that we just need to follow. I mean, we did issue a resolution that night demanding that they make some changes and take action, and
they have.
They have been. So I think it's fair to ask them to come and report to us about it and talk to us.
Yeah. All right.
That's all I have.
Hopefully we can have Mr. Croissant here next Tuesday. It's certainly not something that has not been identified as Mr. Croissant is wanting to get out. We're wanting to get him out in the community anywhere and everywhere we can. And again, a little bit of passage of time to put this in place and to check in with some of our partners to get a better confidence in the workability is what we want to do. So I very much look forward to him coming here as well, and hopefully we can make that happen next Tuesday night.
All right. Thank you. Anything else?
That's all I have.
Public comments? Meeting's adjourned.